In the top stories, Prime Minister Drew highlights economic strategies and trust at Afro-Caribbean Investment Summit. Data shows more Jamaicans living abroad choosing to return home. And Palestinians protest against Hamas amid ongoing conflict. Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Today is Wednesday, March 26, 2025. I'm your presenter, Shanique Harvey. Nationally, Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, has shared insights into the country's economic strategies as a panelist at the Aquarian Consult Afro-Caribbean Investment Summit in Abuja, Nigeria. He highlighted the country's engagement with Afreximbank and the importance of building trust between the Caribbean and African nations to foster economic collaboration. Prime Minister Drew began by detailing St. Kitts and Nevis's growing relationship with Afreximbank, noting that the country was the first in the Caribbean to sign a memorandum of understanding with the institution. He highlighted the impactful relationship between the Caribbean and Afreximbank, asserting that the partnership serves as a model for future collaborations. Dr. Drew emphasized that the success of this partnership has set a powerful example for other financial institutions. Prime Minister Drew's comments underscored the growing importance of economic cooperation between Africa and the Caribbean, with the potential for other banks to follow suit in fostering mutually beneficial relationships. The Aquarian Consult Afro-Caribbean Investment Summit held in Abuja, Nigeria, Honorable Dr. Joel Clark, Minister of Sustainable Development for St. Kitts and Nevis, delivered a virtual presentation outlining the country's plans to become a model of sustainable development. Dr. Clark began her address by acknowledging the distinguished leaders in attendance, including the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, the Premier of Nevis, and the officials from the Nigerian government. She emphasized that the vision for St. Kitts and Nevis is rooted in transforming the nation into a sustainable island state, focusing on climate resilience, environmental stewardship, and sustainability. She also stressed the importance of collaboration to mobilize the necessary investments and innovations.
It's based on 7 transformative pillars, primarily energy transition, water security, food security, sustainable investments and industry, sustainable settlements, the circular economy, and of course, health and social protection. Importantly, to make this transformative change, to ensure that our people are protected, that their livelihoods are protected, requires serious investment. So the question has always been, what do we need to realize this ambition? And it's not a simple equation, but it is an ambitious equation. To achieve this vision, we need partnership. We need public and private investment. We need opportunity to innovate through innovative financing infrastructure in particular. And most importantly, we need the people of St. Kitts and Nevis and our global community to be in partnership with us. It's based on 7 transformative pillars.
Underlining the government's long-term goals with a target of achieving most sustainable development goals, or SDGs, by 2040.
Our next steps towards 2040, as I wrap my presentation, is to ensure that we can mobilize resources for climate adaptation and for resilience. It means that we have to raise visibility of St. Kitts and Nevis and our own national vision. Now, CISA for us serves as a communication and public relations engine for our sustainability effort. We want, when people think of St. Kitts and Nevis, they think of sustainability and sustainable island state agenda, not just for us, but the fact that this can be a model that can be replicated across the region and across island nations in the Pacific, in Europe, etc. We intend to align all of our existing projects under the banner of Sustainable Island State, and this has been an active engagement.
Dr. Clark noted that a sustainable future for St. Kitts and Nevis is not just a dream, but a growing reality, built on innovation, partnerships, and the unwavering commitment to protecting both people and planet. On Sunday, March 23rd, Honorable Dr. Denzel Douglas, Parliamentary Representative for Constituency Number 6, celebrated 36 years of service with a special worship and Thanksgiving service at the Church of God of Prophecy in Newton Ground. The event saw participation from family, colleagues, and constituents who gathered to honor his long-standing contributions. In a Facebook post following the service, Dr. Douglas expressed heartfelt gratitude for the support he has received, thanking those who attended and those who sent their prayers. He also extended thanks to Bishop Dr. Philip Webb and his congregation for hosting the service. Dr. Douglas's political career began in 1979 when he became the first young Labour representative on the national executive of the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party. He became parliamentary representative for St. Christopher VI in 1989 and went on to serve as Prime Minister from 1995 to 2015. Under his leadership, St. Kitts and Nevis saw growth in agriculture, tourism, and financial services, as well as major investments in housing, education, and healthcare. Dr. Douglas also played a key role in various regional and international organizations, including OECS, CARICOM, and the IMF, helping advance the interests of both his nation and the Caribbean region. His legacy includes recognition for his leadership in peace building and his work in the fight against HIV/AIDS. We move now to news on the regional scene. An increasing number of Jamaicans living abroad are choosing to return home, according to the latest data from the Jamaica Customs Department. Provisional figures from 2023 show that 943 Jamaicans voluntarily returned to the island, a notable rise from 789 in 2022 and 867 in 2021. The majority of these returnees came from the United States, followed by the UK, Canada, and other locations. This trend suggests that more members of the Jamaican diaspora are seeing opportunities and benefits in resettling in their homeland. Economic improvements, family reunification, and a desire to reconnect with their cultural roots could be driving factors behind this growing movement. The Jamaica Customs Department notes that only one adult member of a returning family is required to register, which suggests the actual number of returnees may be higher than recorded. There is no official data for 2024 yet, or for the first 3 months of this year. Tobago House of Assembly Chief Secretary Farley Augustine has made it clear that while the island welcomes a Sandals-branded hotel, it must be on its own terms. Speaking at the Tobago People's Party convention and presentation of candidates at Ravenel's Resort, Augustine dismissed claims made by former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley that Tobagonians outright rejected the project 6 years ago. Augustine responded directly to Rowley's accusations that he and the Progressive Democratic Patriots leader Watson Duke were responsible for the collapse of the Sandals deal. He insisted that the original proposal was rejected because it was undemocratic, lacked economic feasibility, and failed to meet environmental standards. As discussions over the Sandals project continue, Augustine reaffirmed that Tobago remains open to negotiations with Sandals or any other major hotel brand, provided they respect the island's economic, environmental, and democratic standards. Internationally, Palestinians in the Gaza Strip have staged rare protests against Hamas, the ruling militant group, amid growing frustration over the ongoing war with Israel. Witnesses reported protests in Beit Lahia and Gaza City on Tuesday and Wednesday, with demonstrators chanting "Stop the war" and "Hamas get out" in a call for an end to the violence. Ammar Hassan, a protester, explained that the demonstrations started as an anti-war protest but quickly grew to over 2,000 people, with many directing their anger at Hamas. Hamas has traditionally suppressed dissent, but no direct intervention was reported at these protests. Senior Hamas official Bassem Naim acknowledged the right to protest, but emphasized the need to focus on Israel, calling it the criminal aggressor. The protests erupted after Israel resumed airstrikes, killing hundreds and ending a temporary ceasefire. Gaza's health ministry reports over 50,000 deaths since the conflict began in October 2023. Many protesters are calling for Hamas to resolve the crisis by returning hostages and ending the war. And finally, in international news, The Atlantic published a signaled chat among senior Trump administration national security officials revealing sensitive military details about airstrikes in Yemen. The chat, which included Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, disclosed the precise timing of F-18 launches and bomb drops, while White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt asserted that no classified information was shared. Hegseth has not confirmed whether the details were classified. Signal, a publicly available app, is not approved for classified communications, and U.S. officials had previously warned about vulnerability to hacking. The leak has raised concerns about operational security and the handling of sensitive information within the Trump administration. And now for the weather. Present weather is partly cloudy skies with slight dust haze. Winds are a gentle breeze from the northeast at 12 miles per hour. The temperature for today is 25 degrees Celsius or 77 degrees Fahrenheit. Seas are 1.5 to 2.4 meters or 5 to 8 feet. A small craft advisory remains in effect. The weather forecast for today predicts partly cloudy skies with a 20% or slight chance of showers. Tonight is expected to be partly cloudy with a 40% or moderate chance of showers. Sunset for today will be at 6:23 p.m. and sunrise for tomorrow will be at 6:09 a.m. And that brings us to the end of the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more in detail. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your presenter, Shanique Harvey.